Hello and welcome to the Learn Dota 2 League playoffs, and we have Meta 4 or M21. I don't remember which one they are. It doesn't matter. Versus Toxic Idiots. We're part of the way through this first phase of the draft, and we're seeing mostly supports banned out. Of course, the ever so powerful Shadow Fiend, and then Beastmaster, another rather strong hero removed from the pool. We'll see what Toxic Idiots, who do not have first pick, decide to ban out. Earth Spirit, Sand King, Witch Doctor, Gyrocopter all still remain as options for to be banned or picked up, and we'll see what they decide to go for. Ancient Apparition also still available. But there's just such a wide number of really strong heroes right now, especially Gyro, who you might want to ban now. I'm pretty sure Gyro in the Bucharest Major was banned 100%, was picked or banned in 100% of games, and we're seeing Meta 4 pick up the Disruptor as their first pick, a very strong support, and then Bristleback immediately grabbed by Toxic Idiots, a hero we usually don't see that often, but Keeper of the Light Bristle is a pretty frustrating combo to go against. Getting the double quills on you really hurts, so we'll definitely see that come into play. That is a huge increase to Bristle's DPS just with that one Coddle spell.
10 seconds remaining.
And already Disruptor not the best support at dealing with Bristleback. I mean, the Glimpse is good, but I mean just in lanes because he's just so tanky. But you know what? A great way to remove tankiness is Elder Titan's auras. Just strip him of all of his magic resistance, all of his physical armor, and he's just good. You can just crush him. So we'll see. I really like that Elder Titan pick. It's a great hero, as awesome setup for with the Disruptor and any other heroes that need any form of setup or control with them. Of course, the Earth Splitter are also going to be very effective against a tanky hero like the Bristleback. But the biggest issue, I think, is that Natural Order. We'll see that come into play for sure. And now Toxic Idiots in the next set of bans. There's still a Gyrocopter in the pool for whatever team wants to go for him. That hero is very high contention. Toxic Idiots, though, will remove a natural Bristleback counter in the form of the Viper, who was, I think, always decent against Bristle, just because you can kite the hero so much. But now that he has a break as of 7.07, I believe, whatever the December patch was.
10 seconds remaining.
And losing Bristleback's Bristleback is, the hero becomes incredibly easy to kill off. He loses a huge chunk of his damage, and you really don't want to have to deal with that. So getting rid of heroes like that Night Stalker, definitely a good call. Sorry, like that Viper. I looked at Night Stalker, who pretty good against Coddle, especially if you want to play the Vision game. And I think Night Stalker does a lot more earlier than Keeper, unless you're able to land those Illuminate blasts. Meta 4 taking some time in their next ban. Again, that Gyro's still there, a hero that either of these teams would want. I think it goes pretty nicely on the Radiant draft, though. You have some good wave clear, good AoE, setup for the call down thanks to the other Titan stomp, more team fight ability, a good mix of physical and magical damage. Not to mention the slow from call down pierces spell immunity, so it would allow him to kite the Bristleback a little bit more effectively and keep him zoned out in these team fights. And they already have so many strong zoning tools. And TI are really going to struggle, I think, in this game to get that Bristle into effective position when you've got to deal with Kinetic Field, Glimpse, Titan Stomp, Earth Splitter, and if you're the Radiant, if you're Meta 4, then you probably just want to continue to kite that Bristle. Make it basically a non-existent hero, or pick up a natural Silver Edge building hero like the Dragon Knight on your side as well. Also, the heavy armor on him makes him really, like he can man up against Bristle a little bit. Getting all that nice armor. Now Radiant going to be banning out that Queen of Pain, and Toxic Idiots right away grabbing a Shadow Shaman. So some strong push. The Shaman ward's also great at taking Roche, killing heroes, of course. Some good crowd control, something they were sort of lacking, not even sort of, really lacking with their first two picks. They just had a slow, the Coddle Blind, and of course Mana Leak, all unreliable or inconsistent, and often not enough to catch enemy heroes. But Shaman has so much crowd control just built into his own kit that they have more, in my eyes, have compensated a fair amount for the lack of CC on the other two heroes. And of course, they have two more picks, and we'll see what they decide to go for after we see this Radiant pick come up. I, again, would really like to see a Gyrocopter come out from the Radiant. That hero is incredibly good, And it's interesting to see him actually being ignored in a draft. I suspect he will be picked or banned by one of these two teams. They could also go for something like a Life Stealer, although it's not great against Bristleback, but they're going to grab an incredibly strong offlaner in the Abyssal Underlord. A crazy good wave clear, can zone out pretty much any core with Firestorm. Very tanky, and his ult has some game-changing potential as well.
10 seconds remaining.
TI themselves could definitely fit a Gyro into their draft. There's really, I can't think of a draft that I don't want to pick Gyro in if we're assuming that the draft is balanced in the sense that they don't have, 5 carries. But they're taking their sweet time and figuring this out, looking for their mid and their safe laner, likely to pick, let's see, with Shadow Fiend banned, Dragon Knight still available. You have Death Prophet, Puck. They could run a Razor mid, but that's really fallen out of favor for the safe lane Razor. And TI grab that Juggernaut for themselves. A lot of damage, goes great with the Shadow Shaman, of course, and one of the few heroes that can lane decently well against the Underlord, and M4 are going to pick up a Razor for themselves, likely to be their safe lane. And I think that hero is great against Bristleback. In the sense that he probably beats Bristle in the lane pretty badly. Bristle does pretty good against melee heroes. It could be a mid-Razor, though. Definitely want to keep our eyes open for that possibility. But Razor can pretty easily drain Bristleback until he gets points in Nasal Goo. And the Nasal Goo animation is also so long that you can't really efficiently turn against Razor and say, I'm going to spit goo on you. And until he gets points, probably at least 2 points in the Bristleback, he's going to get beat pretty badly by the Razor Whip. Laser Whip. Heh. Now into the next set of bans, Terrorblade removed by Toxic Idiots, and it looks like they're perhaps anticipating a mid lane Razor as they have banned that Terrorblade. Metaphor, if they want to do that mid-Razor, I think it's actually going to be pretty good for them. Razor matches mostly well against a few of the popular mids, might struggle against something like a Death Prophet a little bit, because she has much better poke than he does.
5 seconds remaining.
But if it is a safe lane Razor, I could see Death Prophet for them. I could see Dragon Knight is looking really good for Metaphor. It's great against Juggernaut's ult, and he's just good against physical damage heroes. The Dragon form lets them hit towers, something they're not awesome at yet, unless Razor goes for Ags, or Underlord gets the tower damage talent for his Firestorm. And yeah, it's a good objective hitting hero. And again, that's just something they kind of lack. They could also, of course, go for like a Death Prophet, although less uptime in her objective hitting. Exorcism massacres objectives like Roshan, towers, heroes, of course.
Radiant team pick.
And then OD banned out by the Radiant themselves. Would have been a fine pick. Really good against the Underlord. And they're going to go for a Chaos Knight. So it is the mid-Razor and a safe lane CK. A lot of damage. When his ult is up, hits towers very, very effectively. And we'll see how he goes up against this Bristleback. They're going to need... They may not have any Silver Edge carriers, but I don't think they really need one with the Elder Titan reducing all of the resistances of Bristleback. They also have so many positioning abilities like Disruptor's Glimpse, Kinetic Field, the Elder Titan's Sleep, the Reality Rift, ways to move that Bristleback around the battlefield. And I know I've been talking about this Bristle a lot, but it really does appear like it's going to be... It's either going to be really good or it's going to be really bad, I think, for Toxic Idiots. It's one of those heroes that just has all of the impact in the world or really none at all. So we'll see how it ends up going out for them, playing out for them. I'm with the Shaman and the Coddle of enabling the double Bristle Spray. It's going to be pretty good. But as a draft as a whole, I do like what Metaphor have done, and Toxic Idiots not a ton of options for mid. I think Death Prophet or Dragon Knight probably their best choice. Might want to stay away from another melee core. Storm Spirit also in the pool. There's not... I'm lying. There's a lot of control for a hero like Storm, but they're going to grab that Tinker instead. It's decent, but it's mostly good. But they do have a lot of vision tools like the Elder Titan, the Kinetic Field, Glimpse, Plasma Field. They can find this hero and they can get a nasty hold of him. So we'll see if he wins his mid, and I think he probably beats Razor pretty badly. Since Razor can drain all the damage in the world, but it doesn't matter if you've blinded him. Liking the look of both of these drafts. I'm gonna have to favor that Radiant draft. It just looks so well-rounded. No incredibly overt weakness besides hitting towers. Something that Toxic Idiots are going to do very, very well. They push very quickly, and their team fight also looking decent. But I mean, it's so scary fighting up against an Elder Titan and the Disruptor in team fights. However, with Keeper of the Light throwing out those blinds and Tinker just erasing supports from the game and all that control the Shadow Shaman offers, they do have some potential. But we're now getting into the game, so all of our questions and more will soon be answered. Toxic Idiots versus M21 in Game 1 of this best of 3 playoff for the Learn Dota 2 League. On the side of the Radiant, playing the Underlord, the Uberlord, as some have taken to calling him, is Element. Then on the Elder Titan, Luke Whippoorwillow. I'm just going to call him Luke. M4. We've got Lava on the Razor, made of lightning, not lava. Diva D playing Chaos Knight. On this Disruptor, we have Samurai Bennett. Meanwhile, on the Dire side of the map, arguably the villains of this story with a team name like Toxic Idiots, Mainu playing the Keeper of the Light. Kyrix on the Bristleback. NTPK playing Juggernaut. Tinker, one of the most despised heroes in Dota, being played by De Bruyne. And then on Rasta, Ekshal. Looks like the Radiant are looking to contest this rune a little bit. They did get their smoke broke, so they know people are nearby. They do have an Echo Stomp, and they could set something up for it. They're going up right now. They're caught the Shadow Shaman inside that root as well. The stun, just 1 second, but a ton of damage. The spin doing whatever he can, but he's going to have to disengage and leave his friend to die. And Diva D collecting that first blood, and that means that Bounty Rune likely to go to the way of the Radiant as well. But it looks like that they responded by trying to pressure this bottom Bounty Rune. And the looks of things are an aggro tri-lane, and they've got the tools to do it. I really like that they're running this lane like this. You've got tons of control, respectable damage. Will make things very, very difficult. And what's more is Underlord matches pretty well against Bristleback just because of that Firestorm. He blocked that camp. I wonder, I mean, he's not going to pull, but I just wonder why he did that, why he blocked it instead of just dewarding. We'll be fine. This is a good lane for Element. And yeah, they're already moving lanes. A good response from Toxic Idiots, recognizing that, all right, Bristle's not going to have a good time against Underlord, and an aggro tri-lane will wreak havoc on our Juggernaut. We'll see if they want to move for this or if they're going to stick around. I think I'd like to see them stick because this Coddle, very squishy. Once they get Glimpse, once they get this Titan Spirit and a Reality Rift, it's probably a pretty easy kill for them. Oh, the Echo Stomp coming out. And yeah, just bullying this Bristle a bit. Though Bristle, not the most farm dependent, however, but they get the shackles and the spin off on the Underlord, killing him off rather quickly. It's a simple matter. And what would have been an easy lane against the Bristleback is suddenly a lot more complicated for the Underlord. And yeah, they're moving lanes. They recognize, you know what, this is not the place for us to be. And I wonder if they'll move once again. Juggernaut running off to the side shop, grabs his brown boots. Only level 1 still on this Chaos Knight. Elder Titan hanging out at the top lane for the time being. I imagine we'll see him come down because Disruptor not great at solo supporting a lane. Shackles coming out. They do have spin, but not enough mana for it. The kinetic field should disengage them. The DVD going to be forced to use his salve. Meanwhile, up at the top lane, they're trying to find this Keeper of the Light. Luke has found him. He doesn't have an Echo Stomp available, but Bristleback now in the area doesn't actually have enough mana to pop those Quill Sprays, but gets, oh, a nice Pit of Malice coming out. The Stomp coming in. Needs to be cautious. If he gets hit by one more Quill Spray, that could be the end of him. Just take a lot of bonus damage from that, but now the Element himself in serious trouble. He does have a magic stick, so can get that charges off to keep himself alive, and will be A-okay. These lanes not looking great so far in terms of trades for the Radiant. Taking a look at the mid lane, though. Doing practically exactly even on farm. One thing to note is they don't really have any way to disengage the shackles if it's onto the Chaos Knight down here in this lane. Could be problematic. Reality Rift is online. We'll see if they want to do anything with this, but I don't think they actually have kill potential against the Jug Spin. Coddle Blast coming in. Getting Element low. He still has his 10 stick charges. I don't think he wants to use them right then, though. LD Titan has returned to base. We'll see if he decides to stick around or up top, or if he decides to come down to the bot lane. But it looks like Shadow Shaman wrapping around. No, spotted out. The LD Titan has arrived here in the bottom lane. Echo Stomp. Does connect onto both. It looks like they may find somebody in the Shadow Shaman getting caught in that kinetic field. The spin available once again, doing a lot of damage for MTP. But X-Shaw getting extremely low. One more hit will do the trick. The Shackle's trying to keep Luke in place. Luke trying to get out of here. The tower shot looks like it's going to follow him, and he's going to go down. And D.Va himself very, very low, but they don't have a mana leak available. They get the Chakra Magic onto NTP, but he doesn't have any, like, no spin for 26 seconds. D.Va should be fine. A 1-for-1 trade. Only killing that Shadow Shaman, so support for support. Relatively even so far in this game. The Element getting bullied by this Bristleback. Starting to get those points in the Firestorm may change things a little bit, but that remains to be seen. Mid lane going reasonably well for both, but actually up top, Kyrex finding a solo kill on the Uberlord. Not the way they want that to go, and Bristol having a good time, which I think is a good omen for Toxic Idiots. DD picked up by X-Shaw as well, and the Shadow Shaman's base damage is insanely high. Don't know what Mainu's doing up here. Looking for a Coddle Blast on the Razor. Does find it, but Tinker not in position to follow up. And oh, actually, Mainu, you may just have killed yourself, but no, should be okay. Pops this Fairy Fire. The Echo Stomp comes in, puts Tinker to sleep. Risky maneuver from that Keeper of the Light, but he does manage to survive. Following X-Shaw with the DD rune. It's about to wear out. He wants to get somebody. Has the Shackles, gets it on Chaos Knight, gets the Glimpse away to cancel that. Nicely done, but D.Va D taking a lot of damage for NTPK's Blade Fury. The field will block him in, but now they've stunned him. Just 1 second though, so he's fine for now, but they do have that Reality Rift as well. Popping it, getting onto the Shadow Shaman instead. They decide to go for that target, but the Shackle's coming back out again. Right clicks onto NTP, he pops his Healing Ward, and the Chaos Bolt is available once again, but I don't know if they want to engage against that Healing Ward. Elder Titan is here as well. He has the Spirit. I think they saw him. They don't have mana for Shackles. He's looking for X-Shaw. Finds him, but I don't know if they have any way to kill him. I don't know if they want to go in on that, keep their light back down here, and now it's a try situation. And D.Va a little low. Coming out. They may want to try to get a move onto him. D.Va taking a lot of damage from the Illuminate Blast. The Echo Stomp coming out, but it's not. I don't think they can kill this Juggernaut. Yeah, he's just going to be able to spin it all off. Meanwhile, up top, it looks like Element doing his best to try to maybe cut the wave, but now in danger of getting killed off by the Bristle. Fortunately for him, he is out of mana. More Illuminate Blast flying, but don't connect on anyone this time. Mainu can Chakra himself. They're trying to find a Shackle, but they do have ways to cancel. Elder Titan roaming around a lot. And CS, we take a quick look at that, all favoring the Dire. So the Radiant starting to fall behind just a little in this game. A 2k gold lead now building up for Toxic Idiots. Stomp coming in, does connect onto the Shadow Shaman. That should be a pretty easy kill for them. The Reality Rift him out, but he's trying to run away. The Hex was onto the Chaos Knight, taking a ton of damage from the Blade Fury from the Juggernaut. In fact, a lot of them are. They need to be careful. The Glimpse back on the Jugs, but it's not going to be enough. D.Va going to go down. I don't think they can kill NTP. In fact, Luke himself in serious trouble. The Stomp comes off just in a time. Juggernaut should be okay. Fortunately for them, he's not level 6. But they already got one kill, and oh, a nice Illuminate Blast. Doesn't manage to connect onto Mainu the Creeps, spotting him out, so he's able to maneuver properly on Luke. And now they're looking for Coddle with the Reality Rift and the rank 2 Chaos Bolt. farm for the CK is alright, but it's not as good as the other heroes, the enemy cores, I should say. Razor also beginning to fall a little bit behind the Tinker, but I think that's to be expected and likely going to be a recurring theme throughout this game, as Tinker just flash farms a lot better than Razor. That hero relies on, I mean, Plasma Field, I suppose, can clear waves, but mostly just good old-fashioned right-clicking. Keeper of the Light gets spotted. Not in any danger, though. And TPK looking really good on this Juggernaut at the moment, going for his phase boots. Hasn't started a B Fury yet, but may not even go for a Battle Fury, as a lot of Jugs, yeah, he's just going to go right for that Yasha, just the full-on early fighting build. Doesn't really care to farm. And now Omni Slash online. They have to be incredibly careful about that. Lava doing much better in this lane than I thought he would against Tinker. Tinker is a pretty big lane bully. The Chaos Ball coming out is spun off. The Echo Stomp not going to latch onto the Juggernaut. He's still spinning anyways, but now they get the glimpse. He does have an Omni Slash available, but they do miss that kinetic field. And man, now they need to be careful onto him. The Chaos Knight going to pull back X-Shawl, but NTP should be just fine. Coddle now down here. And again, they still have Omni Slash, which could just blow up any one of these supports. Chaos Knight may survive, but Elder Titan dies, and Disruptor also very likely to die. Up top, things are starting to shape up a lot better for 7th Element. He did die a couple times this game, but now at the top of the CS. Unsurprising. Oh, a nice stomp coming out, putting this guy to sleep, and now the reality bringing him back. X-Shawl getting very, very low. The spin, trying to do as much damage as he can before he gets that Omni Slash going. And it's going to be a big one, I think, if he gets it off in time. Luke going to go down just to right-click. Now the Omni Slash, a double for NTP. Looks like he wants some more, but I don't think he can continue pursuit. And a 2-for-1, heavily favoring TI. They have to be so careful fighting up against this Jug spin. So many fights. Let's look at that recap. He did 2,000 damage. And so much of that came from the spin, and obviously the Omni Slash as well. But they stood in that spin for almost the whole duration of it. And that's not the only time they've done that. An incredibly risky fight going against this Jug like that. And it's resulted in multiple kills for him. He's 4-0-1. But they do have the Static Storm available now. Actually, Chaos Knight a level behind his Disruptor. Not what you want to see. Reality Rift, try to get that damage, but now the spin. Hitting really hard that max spin. They need to be so careful against the Shaman, who now has his wards, and more importantly, the Shackles can trap you inside the Jug spin, doing a respectable amount of damage over time themselves. It's like Underlord TP'd back to his tower when spotted by the Keeper of the Light. The mid matchup still roughly even. Ooh, Razor trying to find a kill onto De Bruyne, but he's going to be fine. Oh, the Echo Stomp might get him. He's incredibly low, and just an easy matter for Razor to walk up and kill him off. Actually killed off by the Unstable Current. A nice pickup in that mid lane on that Tinker for the Razor will allow him to get some more CS, get ahead of that Tinker a bit. Good stun onto the Juggernaut, but they need to be careful. X-Shawl is here, does have the Shackles, the Ether Shock as well, and this looks like a dead Disruptor. I don't think he gets out of this one alive. Yep, Ether Shocked to finish him off. So this lane is not going well at all for the Radiant. It looks like it could have been fine, but they had a lot of rotating going on. The other Titan not sticking around. Of course, Hero is a very strong roamer, so I'm not suggesting he should have stuck around. But it's just been difficult. It just feels like it's been difficult for them to find any fights, even with the Elder Titan there. And they have been able to apply that much pressure. The Juggernaut, third on farm, well ahead of that CK by about 14 last hits. His Yasha almost complete. The Spirit spotting out X-Shawl, trying to get that stomp up. It does snatch onto the Juggernaut. Razor is here. They get comes back onto the Shadow Shaman. He's getting extremely low. They turn their attention on NTPK, but he does have his ultimate throwing it out. But there's so many heroes around, he's not able to get any real damage off. And he's going to go down the Static Storm just for good measure. And a nice rotation from Lava. And the killing spree ended by Disruptor. Good 2 kills. Very quick and easy for them. Just as I was saying, they weren't able to find anything. They find 2 nice kills. But will that affect the overall net worth? We still see Juggernaut at the top, followed by that Bristleback, but close to Bristle is that Underlord. Those 3 cores, though, on the Radiant side, on the M21 side, gunning for those Dire cores, want to get that top net worth slot, and just pull their team ahead, and a mere 1k gold lead in favor of the Dire isn't anything to be super impressed by. Minute gonna take some tower shots. They have potential. Once that mech comes out, they're gonna be really, really tanky. Reality Rift, just a 1 second stun, or not, that's Chaos Bolt, just a 1 second stun. Second rotation into the mid lane, they get the Hex onto the other Titan. They have Shackles, but I don't think there's any real kill potential on him. Up top, the Underlord hasn't pointed his ult yet. Not typical to get it early unless it's an emergency to pick it up. Usually we do just see them max out the Rain of Fire, the Atrophy Aura. It comes back into that Pit of Malice. What's worse, inside the Kinetic Field as well. He's going to get rooted again. The Razor ult doing a lot of damage, shredding his armor. He's still rooted, but a lot of ticks coming out from his Quill Flare. The Plasma Field doing a lot. Do they actually get this kill? One more hit and Razor finds him, but man, was it a close one, taking so much damage from those Quills. And they get a nice tower deny. And this the reality, the Chaos Bull harass onto the Jugs from the CK. He needs to be really careful around this Juggernaut though. Once Omni Slash is up, there is solo kill potential. He's a full level and a half, almost 2 levels behind the Juggernaut.
Fortunes change.
So Chaos Knight struggling a bit, it feels like, to really get going. This hero does not come back very well. Similarly to Razor, he needs a good start. They get the root onto Eggshell. The Stomp also going to connect onto one. The root keeping him trapped now. The Static Storm in the Kinetic Field. The Firestorm doing a lot of damage to Bristleback. He needs to be cautious. And they're going to back off after just losing their Shadow Shaman. But still, heavy commitments for each of these kills coming out from the Radiant. But now they've called their Uber driver. And they're rotating down to the bot lane. Perhaps they want to bait NTP. The Reality Rift, or the Chaos Bolt catches him. The Stomp, not going to connect because he has that spin going. He needs to TP out of here, though. They have more than one hero, and they're getting a rotation coming in. They don't have the Earth Splitter, and a glimpse back. He's trapped. He has the ult, but I don't know if it's going to matter. He throws it out for just desperation, but desperation is all it is, and he dies. A nice rotation. The Radiant suddenly coming online. Rotating very efficiently around the map and catching heroes off guard, using that Underlord ult immediately after their first kill up at that top lane. Coming to the bot, I don't think Jug was expecting that at all. Now barely a 1k gold lead in favor of the Dire as they're starting to get it. Oh, what a nice sleep. The Earth Splitter coming in. They're trapped in a Kinetic Field. How much damage is that going to do? It hurts them both real bad. The Firestorm too. I don't think they're getting out of this one. Reality Rift, Chaos Bolt, and you're done for. Double kill for Sashay, Luke, Whippoorwillow dancing on their graves. Now the tier 1 bot looks like it's going to be going down. The next creep wave coming in. They have tons of wave clear as well. They don't kill towers themselves very quickly, but they have decent wave clear just with the Underlord alone.
Ending.
And now Underlord second on the net worth, right behind that Juggernaut. While Razor beginning to catch up to the Bristleback as well. Suddenly a game on our hands, but the Radiant could run away with it. Their draft again. These heroes don't farm that fast, but they're also heroes that don't need a whole lot of farm. These heroes are very, very good just with a 1 or 2 items, some levels, getting their talents, especially Chaos Knight with his ultimate. But don't get me wrong, he scales great with items, but an Armlet and a Manta, that's like all that hero needs. Razor also relying more on his static link, which is great against Juggernaut. He's able to stick on that hero pretty nicely. Even though he can spin during the link, he still loses damage in that time. Although it's not like a Razor counters Juggernaut type situation, as you do have spin and a glimpse back onto the Shadow Shaman. And yeah, this is not where you want to be. Bad weather over here as he's killed in that Static Storm. The mechanism also completed on the Underlord will allow for them to get some serious mileage in team fights. NTPK spots them. There isn't a glimpse here. They're trying to get the sleep, but he pops that spin. They have the drain going. Drum's completed on the Razor. He pops, trying to pursue as fast as he can, draining 112 damage to Plasma Field. He needs to be cautious. I believe he spotted out Kyrix coming. He's trying to back off. He has Nasal Goo, but the range relatively short. It'll be difficult to get it onto this Razor, and even if you do, I don't know if you actually want to continue that fight. Another thing to note in terms of advantage that I think the Radiant have is they have so much more catch. then the Dire. Ooh, this Echo Stomp canceled. He doesn't want to get himself caught. Razor getting body blocked. Uberlord coming in with reinforcements. The Echo Stomp catches on 2 heroes. This could be bad. The Earth Splitter flying in as well. Underlord with the Disruptor as well as the Chaos Knight. Oh, what a disaster! Excellent rotation from that Underlord. Kyrix trapped in that field, and they get the glimpse. He gets another one! They may not be able to get that They may not be able to get the Versal back, but a nice Omni Slash from NTPK. Cook's reaction, finding him off with the Reality, pulling him back. The healing, we're not going to do enough. Getting a consolation kill on that Razor and escaping on their Bristle. Things looked like they were going to turn out so much worse, but quick thinking and fast fingers result in a nice, not even trade, but a trade for Toxic Idiots. But an M21 probably not as happy with that as they were planning to be. Definitely not worth celebrating your Razor's death, especially not when it's the Juggernaut that kills him. Back chasing down Luke. Pit of Malice, traps him in place, have Kinetic Field. But as I was saying, there's just a lot of catch and control on the Radiant side that the Dire don't really have. You've got Glimpse, Kinetic Field, Pit of Malice, Echo Stomp, Reality Rift. There's so many ways to keep your heroes in one place, while over here, it's just Mana Leak, Hex, and Shackles, really. Oh, they pop the smoke right away to get the Hex off onto one, but they don't know if they want to go up on this. Kinetic Field comes out, the Static Storm as well. He has a Glimpse, hasn't used it yet. I don't know if Bristle's the target that they should be after. The Pit of Malice coming in. They do have a Firestorm in just 1 second. They put about Shaman Wards down, and it looks like this fight might just be a disengage from both sides. Both sides committing a lot for it. The Static Storm, Shaman Wards, all coming out for that engagement, but both teams will back off. Neither one wants to fight in such an awkward location. Do want to know. Oh, sorry about this lag. My bad. I've been having some minor internet issues here and there the past couple of days. It should be gone. Looks like it was just a brief stutter. We are loaded right back into the game. Take a look at these overall net worths. Doesn't look like we missed anything at all. Maybe Coddle did just die. Yeah, that's a new one. Apologies. Let's hope it doesn't happen again. But still, things looking pretty even. A meager 1K gold lead at 20 minutes for M21. TI definitely not out of this game yet. They have a ton of damage potential. And that tanker, we haven't really seen him come into these fights yet. We haven't seen him get involved at all, really. He's died a couple times, but again, we just haven't seen this guy get into these skirmishes. It's largely been without that tinker. Once he comes in, that could be that little bit of balance shift that they need. That March of the Machines doing a lot of damage, and of course the rocket and laser nukes as well.
Middle tower is under fire.
Trying to get this mid tier 1. M21 need to be cautious, Razor especially. Echo Stomp comes in, catches on one hero, just the Juggernaut, so we get that Earth Splitter flying forward. It does manage to latch the Static Storm as well. He's caught in that, but man, Razor getting way too aggressive, gonna die to the Tinker. NTP still gonna lie, but Diva finding a kill. Now Kyrix trying to pursue enemy supports and heroes, but he's gonna get glimpsed back to the other side. They do get that tower, but now it's Diva who could be in trouble. A nice Echo Stomp to buy time for his teammates and a Kinetic Field as well to zone them out. So just a 1-for-1 trade, but Razor for the Shadow Shaman, favoring the Dire. However, they did lose the tier 1 mid and top lane. So an even exchange and netting a total of a 2K gold lead in favor of the Radiant. But that fight, again, they killed the Razor and only lost the Shaman, so it's very much worthwhile for Toxic Idiots in that exchange.
Isn't well at the moment.
Echo Saber going to be the next item for this Chaos Knight. Tinker with his blink going to be able to farm a lot more safely around the map. Let's see if they're able to deal with him. They have lots of tools to find vision on him, especially in the form of this Elder Titan. Now that's their biggest one, but Kinetic Field does give vision. I'm not sure if it's inside it. Yeah, okay, it's inside the circle, not just at the edge of the circle. Plasma Field also providing vision, so they do have ways. And Glimpse, of course, can keep Tinker, if you get it cast in time, keep Tinker from slipping away. I think Shaw picking up a haste rune. His ult back up. Might want to go for this Razor. Backs off. Razor pops the Eye of the Storm. They're pinging him out. Underlord also coming up this high ground. They have an Omni Slash available. Need to be cautious. Pit of Malice not yet used. The drain, dealing about 63 damage. So not a ton of damage, but still a respectable amount. And the Echo Saber just picked up by D.Va. Can you imagine how painful those double crits might be? Looks like we do have a brief pause as Razor has disconnected. Sorry, I'm opening up my water bottle. Anyways, game still really even. Let's look at this XP. Basically, XP is practically dead even. Gold, 2k gold is almost nothing. It's basically nothing at 22 minutes. It's half of an item for 2 of your heroes, or half of an item for 1 of your heroes. It's really insignificant. So this game could turn on a razor's edge. They're going to let that one sink in a bit while we get that unpause going. There's some good vision on the Dire side, though, over here, spotting out these Radiant heroes who spent a lot of time on this bottom half of the map, it feels like. Minu, though, closing in on that Aghanim Scepter, only 1k gold away, and that is a game-changing item for Keeper of the Light. He is spotted, though, so they should be aware that he's getting close to that, and there's Smoke Gank going to try to find some enemy heroes if they can. Lurking on the high ground up here, a good place to be. I wonder if they were spotted. Did they smoke under that ward? The Dire Toxic Idiot's playing very, very carefully. Not getting spotted. The Firestorm coming in, and Underlord tanking a lot of that Tinker damage. Needs to be careful. May want to consider a pipe after grabbing his Greaves. So this Underlord, he died twice in lane, but he is very farmed now and has had some really good Dark Rifts. I've been fairly impressed with the usage of that spell. It's a spell that either does nothing or does a whole lot, but it looks like Shadow Shaman getting put to sleep, and now Razor whipping him down. The Plasma Field not doing a lot as he is melee range, and they're going to be careful, going to back off. Pop that Earth Splitter, though. Not sure that was worthwhile. He's spending a lot of resources for a kill that didn't happen. Well, really, just that Earth Splitter, but it is a fairly high-impact spell. Great against the Bristleback, one of their best tools against him, I believe. That's max HP damage, and it's half magical, half physical. Yes? Yes. Yeah, 30% of your max HP, 15% physical, 15% magical. So with the natural order, that hurts. Definitely one of their more impactful teamfight spells, and they have all the tools they need to keep the enemies in place. The laser going to get that blind, means power damage not going to be quite there. Luke needs to be careful. Still no point in a mana leak. Oh, and the reality of back, CK eats this Keeper of the Light. He's really tanky, able to do that. Pops his ultimate, NTP, able to spin out of that, thank goodness, because that was a ton of damage now going after the Bristol. Ooh, a nice wards trapping inside D.Va. D.Va needs to be able to reality, but he's going to go down to the wards, and now an Omni Slash in the back line, finding 2 heroes. Chasing down this Underlord. Underlord trying to pop that Dark Rift. Do they have the damage to kill him during that? The laser goes forward. The man is trying to get Razor. Will he escape? No! Uber showed up just a little bit late. That's definitely going to cut into his tip, and a massive team fight in favor of TI. Chaos Knight jumping in, getting a quick pick, but unfortunately, X-Shaw was on the ball, throwing down those wards, trapping him inside while Reality Rift was on cooldown. Just resulting in a very sad Chaos Knight trapped inside. Fortunately for NTP, he was able to spin away through that Disruptor kinetic field, or else he very likely would have died. He was getting chunked, but his healing ward returning him to some semblance of health, and didn't have to worry about that Chaos Knight once he got trapped inside those wards. That net gold, that gold graph dipping down now for TI. It's been pretty back and forth just in this last 25 minutes, but XP probably the more significant indicator of how influential that fight will be on the next few minutes of this game, or possibly the rest of this game, as 4k XP in their favor. To take a look at what that really means, it's largely levels for the supports. Keeper still very, very far behind level-wise, but again, he's closing in on that Ags, and levels not really as big a deal for this hero as many others. But most of those levels likely going on the Tinker and the Jug, who were involved in most of those kills. But net worth, Juggernaut catapulting back up to the top there at 10k. He's 2k almost ahead of that Chaos Knight, and Underlord trailing right behind the Bristleback. who's had a reasonably good game. 2-1-5. That's pretty respectable. Getting very tanky, much like that Underlord is. Let's take a look here at the natural order. Base armor, base magic. Alright, so he's building items to help counter this, because natural order is just really, really gnarly. It just, your heroes get shredded, especially heroes like Shadow Shaman, who aren't really building anything other than just mana and stats. Like, once he leaves that tower, his base, he'll have 0, and he won't have any increased magic resist either, so he's going to take full damage from everything. Mainu, with his Ags now completed, means not only does he get that heal off of the Illuminate Blast, not only does he permanently have access to Recall and Blinding Light, but perhaps even more importantly, the massive vision advantage his team will be gaining from this. He'll be able to see smokes before they, just as they break, thanks to the massive amount of vision he'll get. I'm trying to remember the toggle for that. Yeah, look at that. He's just walking around, basically a ward, bigger than a ward. Actually, I think it's the same radius as a ward. No, his side radius is bigger than that. Why can't I toggle it back to both teams' vision? Uh-oh. Did we get there? No. Oh boy, forgive me for that. I messed up. I think I changed my camera hotkeys. Shoot. I'll figure it out. In the meantime, we're playing a very dangerous game of Dota. Razor, speaking of dangerous games, getting gone on by a group of heroes. He's being incredibly cautious here. He's getting loads very fast. Are they going to be able to catch him? They have the mana leak going, and I think they should be able to get this guy. Crits, and now he's stuck from that mana leak, and that's a pretty easy kill. Dark Grip, or not Dark Grip, but the Pit of Malice coming in. A great sleep, but unfortunately no real follow-up to it. Should be F1 to switch, but it looks like the Dire Toxic Idiot's going into that. Looks like I messed up my... I must have changed my hotkeys. Are going to try to contest this, I believe. Radiant are moving in that direction. They see the Dire heroes. This could be really bad. They have a kinetic field in there. Do they have the static storm as well? They might want to pop to get to sleep as well. The plasma field doing so much damage. PK slaughtered right after the Aegis, but man, these Radiant heroes getting shredded. The margin's just too much. A triple kill for Tinker. Lava and serious trouble. He might get that bristle. He wants to get that bristle. Wants to get something, but he can't. They get nothing. An ultra kill for De Bruyne. And they're on the prowl for this Elder Titan meet. Again, I'm going to change that. It's not letting me switch.
Radiant's middle tower.
Frustrating. Again, I'm super sorry for having done this.
Radiant's middle tower is not safe. Radiant has reinforced their structures.
Well, hopefully it'll be fixed for the next game if I can't figure it out this game. It's not allowing me to change all these camera positions, but a nice sleep from this Elder Titan. The Dire, now with a massive 6k gold lead, just fighting into the pit against all those Tinker marches was just devastating, and that's what we thought about earlier. That Tinker, once he started really getting involved, things got risky.
Smart money.
I've ruined Dota. Wish there was a manual way for me to do it, but it doesn't appear that there is.
Fortune's changed.
Well, I'll do my best, and during this downtime, I am going to try to figure things out, but it's looking pretty good for the Dire all of a sudden. It was kind of close. It was really close for so long in that Roche fight. It looked like it could have been the dream for the Radiant, right? You have the kinetic field, the static storm, the beautiful stomp, but those Tinker Marches, man, just that stuff adds up. When you look at that ability, if you're not in the know, you just think, oh, 40 damage, that's nothing. But that's 40 damage over a million of those little things. Look at Lava, too, getting so low from that. A BKB now bought on him will prevent something like that from happening in the next team fight. But until then, they're going to be kicking themselves after what happened there. Like some battle lines being drawn by the Radiant. They are smoked up on a few of their heroes. Will they find some Dire heroes? They just might. They might come up right behind them, but it looks like the Dire are looking for that Underlord. But now they find the Shadow Shaman in the back line. He's all by his lonesome, going to get slaughtered down there. They turn and try to fight the BKB, immediately popped by Lava. He has his drain available, but hasn't used it just yet. Omni/online for that Juggernaut. They need to be careful. The Plasma Cube flying out. Bristle trying to slow up this Disruptor. He has a kinetic field to try to protect himself. He throws it down, but I don't think it's going to matter. The laser and a couple right clicks should be enough. The Echo Stomp does put that Bristle back to sleep, but he's getting drained up. Razor trying to get as much as he can out of that Bristle. And man, does he get a lot. 240, 50, 60, 280 damage stolen. They manage to get this Disruptor, or do they? He's on the run trying to get this away from here. Meanwhile, D.Va does kill off Kyrix. The Yule's on a Juggernaut. He pops that. A nice sleep coming out in the back line. They're continuing to run away. Razor is here, and again with so much stolen damage, but a double kill for D.Va. I don't think they can get that Tinker, though. He will escape. Spin on Jugs. Pit of Malice, not going to trap him. Yule's coming out, though. They have an Echo Stomp too, but the Phase Boots and his just base movement speed should be able to get him away. Meanwhile, Luke probably wants to disengage off that, but his teammates are in the neighborhood. They might try to find some more, but it looks like they're going to back off after that. I'm really frustrated with myself. The hotkey is F1, but somehow it is not.
Dire just fortified their structures. Dire's middle tower is in the wrong end of business.
The Dire, after committing that Shadow Shaman wards for their defense, are possibly going to struggle a little bit. The Hex coming out. Looks like the Radiant will decide to back off. Spectator and replay controls. Spectator, Fog of War, both teams F1. That is not it. How, I wonder?
That's for me.
Camera settings.
The Juggernaut's power is doubled.
Alright, DD, Rim picked up on that Juggernaut. Definitely Radiant not going to want to fight on that. Speaking of Radiant, they're starting to fall more and more behind, but they did rebound a little bit of that gold lead. It was nearly 8k in favor of Toxic Idiots, but M21 are starting to rebound a little bit. XP also coming back just a small amount, but the Dire are grouping up together. Their vision not looking too great. As they do have some okay vision here in the Radiant jungle, but it's only on this enemy shrine. So they're going to need to be really careful engaging into the other side of the map. Radiant Heroes are fairly split up too, but the Dire are just grouped up as 5, except for that Tinker, who can rejoin them at any given time, and he's just going to go up to the top lane. Things are cooling down a bit. Dire are still mostly kind of congregating as a little bit of a squad. There's a lot of catch potential on the Radiant, so just moving around in such a large group does manage to prevent that from happening. You know, like they don't just get, oh man, Jugs is 5 inches away from us and has been glimpsed and silenced and shackled and maliced and whatever else might have, or put to sleep. There's just so many different ways for them to catch those Dire heroes on the side of the Radiant, that they're going to have to be really cautious, and moving as a group is a way to prevent that from occurring. Tinker can also create pressure around the map. He's now at the top of the net worth. Speaking of pressure, 17k in his favor. That brings him to 3k ahead of any of the Radiant cores and about 4k ahead of that Razor.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
A nice D ward coming out from Disruptor.
Radiant's
Good pain
bottom
for that
tower
Sentry,
has
paying
been
for itself.
addressed.
Smart money.
It was covered. My bad.
Invisibility.
Radiant's middle tower
My bad.
may
Forgive me
need a
for
hand.
that. That was a stupidly easy solution. I do have a little bit of a personal overlay that does cover some things on the screen. Lava now going in on Keeper of the Light. Slaughtered. Horse meat. And this tier 2 tower also going to be getting pretty low, but Tinker now going to be split pushing, trying to pressure this. This tier 2 tower also going to go down, so it will be a trade. Tinker was going to TP into a creep, but this creep is killed off before he's able to do that.
Was Radiant's bottom tower.
So the Radiant able to get a nice pick and a good tower, but they do lose their tier 2 in response. Things are looking pretty good.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Now the tier 2 in mid also going to be going down.
Dire's middle tower is lost.
And the Radiant starting to come back. Only 3k gold behind now. It's definitely not bad. A disastrous fight in the Roche Pit. Although it could have been worse. I want to go back to that fight for just a second. They did get the Aegis immediately.
A gift from the tempest of battle. Regeneration!
I want to take a quick look at the Juggernaut's items. Recently picking up that Aya Scotty. Could be troublesome. Now going to stick on to enemy heroes a lot more and definitely help the catch potential that they don't really have a whole lot of. Like, they've got the Nasal Goose Slow, the Mana Leak. But otherwise, it's just Shadow Shaman stuff. And again, Radiant just have so much stuff covering, like that they can use to catch. The Echo Stomp, the Astral Spirit, even the Earth Splitter, pretty good slow. Now Roshan is back alive. It is back to that time. I don't know that the Radiant are where it's happening. The Titan Spear already sitting out with that Shaman illusion there. They might be wise to something, but this Rosh dies so quickly. And it looks like they just have to give it away. They've got the Chaos Knight and the Disruptor both at the bot lane. It's going to be an Aegis for NTPK, and Kyrix likely to grab that cheese.
Taste death.
Things looking really rough. Razor did go for that axe. He's had it for a little while now.
Radiant's top tower is
Helps him kill towers really fast. Like that ult up when you're hitting towers, they just melt.
Dire's bottom tower is in turmoil.
Chaos Knight. Soul's 10-second BKB charge has a Silver Edge too. Of course, going to be excellent against the Bristleback. Although Bristle picking up that Heart of Tarrasque, they may want to go something like a Nullifier as well against him. And Nullifier would be crippling to that Juggernaut once his spin comes down, especially as he's going for a Butterfly. Although CK and Razor both not strangers to buying a Monkey King bar. But Razor going for that Heart of Tarrasque, an interesting pickup. I'd rather see him get some more damage. Sure, that last bit we saw him drain 280 damage, but I don't know. I think I just would prefer to see him get some more stuff. Tinker gonna blink away immediately, but the Yule's onto that Shadow Shaman. He's done for. Just comes out, Echo Saber, and some right clicks. Drew up that Elder Titan ult did connect onto the Jugs, and oh, they're trying to get one, but Tinker will be able to get away as Razor does not have any crowd control. But that does mean that it's going to be a little bit harder to push with that Aegis. They don't want to fight 4v5 even if they have the Aegis. Tinker, though, is just getting so huge. 21k net worth. He's got a Scythe. He's got 3k. He's got he's got Aether. He's got Ags. It's going to be so difficult for them to get this. Oh, but they spot some enemy heroes on the high ground. They have a ton of catch, but is it going to be enough? Razor stealing just a morsel of damage, but going right onto this Juggernaut. Juggernaut popping his Mana Style. He does have his ult, throws it down, but there's so many creeps around. There's so many illusions around. It's not really going to kill anybody. And he's trapped inside that kinetic field. No spin. A nice blinding light coming out from Keeper of the Light, but the lightning bolt actually killing him. He pops the healing ward. Still alive for now. They're trying to chase him down. They get the Echo Stomp going. It's not going to connect, though. NTPK somehow still alive. His teammates doing everything in their power to save him. Excellent play from those supports. Excellent play from that Keeper of the Light. NTPK lives to fight another day. Would have lost that Aegis, but now we'll have it for the next engagement. And now that Shadow Shaman respawning in just a few seconds, they'll have the numbers that they need. TPing in, and it looks like it's TI that are going to be on the prowl looking for something else that they can find. Looking to get some vengeance on these Radiant heroes onto M21. Want to try to find some kills, but I don't know that they will. A good glimpse back. And just for good measure, Element popping that Dark Rift. Unsure of where the Dire are. They don't really have a lot of vision right now, just up here at this tier 2 that they claimed already, so it's not really helping them right now. And, I mean, most of the action was at the bot lane. Coming out from Elder Titan, just trying to get some farm. Wants to go for an Ags, and man, I do not remember what Ags does. Oh, it's the disarm. That could be decent. I don't know if I'm sold on it. There might be more to it than just the disarming effect. But I don't know. The disarm's not great. It does increase the slow duration a little bit. Trying to get that Echo Stomp off. It does put Tinker to sleep, but that'd be optimistic to engage right there. With his heart, very tanky. A beautiful sleep. The Earth Splitter coming out too. Will they actually manage to connect on all these heroes? A nice Force Staff, but he still gets pulled into it anyway. He's slowed up, but they pop that healing ward, so that Elder Titan Earth Splitter just going to be healed off and amounts to nothing. Perhaps they could have tried to engage on that 3-man sleep. In fact, I think they should have, and a bit of a mistake not to. They get a nice 2-man sleep. It is also nighttime. They're getting a drain onto Bristleback. He's broken now, taking a ton of damage. The Firestorm coming in, a nice Static Storm, but Razor in deep by himself. His teammates aren't around. He's taking a lot of right-click damage from that Juggernaut. He drains so much from Kyrex, but Kyrex is the one he's got to worry about. NTPK going in deep, a nice sleep, catching on to Bristleback, but so far, nothing. The Shadow Shaman does die to lava, but otherwise it's been a very uneventful engagement. However, the Omni Slash flying out just on the other side. Elder Titan going to die. A nice Pit of Malice. He still has the Aegis, though. I don't know if they can fight this. The laser blinding down those illusions, killing them off. Chaos Knight trying to go in onto the Bristleback, and a good Hex coming out from the Tinker, and it looks like it's Chaos Knight Jiva in serious trouble. He needs to armlet toggle, but he can't. The drain coming out from lava, and now the buybacks from 2 heroes. The Elder Titan stop, not going to latch onto anybody, and NTP turns right around. He still has that Aegis. He's showing no fear whatsoever. He's trapped inside that Static Storm, able to get out now. But it's so hard for them to actually engage on the back of this. But that's the sound of the Aegis expiring, and perhaps the clarion call for the Dire to back off. It's 4v5 and there's no Aegis anymore. Cheese was consumed by Bristle. Dagon's now bought on Tinker, going to try to erase some enemy heroes. I'm still... The Axe is great for killing towers, but I would have rather seen him go like a Shiva's Guard. just a fat armor item. Would still like to see something like that. MKB could be okay for the Razor as well. They do need some way to deal with this Jug once he gets that butterfly, and he's not all that far off of the butterfly. But Hood of Defiance on that Razor, good value pickup. He's had it for a very, I think that was like his first real item after the drums. Tinker, I don't think can kill Element. Maybe can, but Element very tanky. Pipe of Insight, 20 health regen, 69 health regen. Besides the memes, that's a lot of regen. That's 690 HP every 10 seconds. That's a lot of healing. So that Underlord, incredibly tanky, but still looking at the net worth, it's getting worse and worse for the Radiant. That last engagement forced out 2 buybacks and digging them deeper into a hole. They've only got, I mean, 10k gold behind. That's rough. And again, Chaos Knight Razor don't really play that well from behind. They don't catch up well outside of team fighting and trying to win team fights, but now just getting harder and harder to win team fights. This Juggernaut is massive. He's going to have a butterfly soon. Tinker is just humongous. Almost, he's 8k gold ahead of your Chaos Knight. It's not where you want to be. This going to be, I mean, it's possible. They have so much crowd control, and a good Static Storm could set up for the fight of the century. But the way Tinker's positioning, De Bruyne staying very far back out of the danger zone, protecting himself very, very well, and just throwing down those marches and only getting in close when he can secure a kill. Lava with his Reaver completed does have buyback for himself, but they don't have it on any other hero on their team. The only 2 heroes in the game with buyback even are Razor and Juggernaut. So if either team gets wiped, it's going to be, depending on how many enemy heroes are alive, that could be an interesting little engagement. The Gem of True Sight picked up on the Keeper of the Light functions similarly to the Night Stalker Ag's gem. Like a fight maybe coming. The Coddle is recalling an allied hero, and they're going into the high ground here. Coddle leading the charge. He does just serve as basically a minesweeper, a metal detector, except more like a hero detector. Shiva's Guard on the Bristleback just picked up as well. That's slow, keeping enemies in range. Tinker is going to be a huge nuisance in this tier 2. Forfeit. They can't really defend this. They throw out a Firestorm, but oh, Dagon in. Laser coming out as well. They want to get Underlord, but man, he is just so tanky. It's going to be fine. Sieging up high ground is risky business. They pop the Shaman Wards though to make it a little bit less so. It's also daytime, so they have that heal. The Sheep's Guard coming out, a nice leap coming in. They have the kinetic field zoning out this Bristleback as much as they can. TV coming in from the Chaos Knight. They need to be cautious. This tier 3 getting solo. The Firestorm flies up. A Juggernaut going in deep. The Earth Splitter flying forward, catches on a couple of heroes. Now they're going in. It's just massive damage on a Kyrex from the Chaos Knight, just chugging away with this Quill Sprays. They're doing so much. And NTPK pops his ultimate, going on 2, killing up the other Titan and the Disruptor. And now the Firestorm coming in. Kyrex getting low. They've not lost any dire heroes, and there's no buyback on either of the Radiant that have died. They're trying to get this Juggernaut, but he's very, very tanky. And the Shackle's coming out. A nice blind from the Tinker as well. Razor gonna go down. Trying to get that Dark Rift off, but it's not going to matter. They need to get Chaos Knight out of here. He doesn't have buyback. He bought back in that last fight, but Tinker pursuing, going to blink away now that buyback comes out from the Razor and the Underlord, but this lane of Rax already getting extremely low, and NTPK is still alive. No heal, no healing ward, so he's not able to restore his team, but that's a tier 3, and not just a tier 3, but a lane of Rax. Shackle's coming out onto Razor. Do they want to continue pursuing forward? The Firestorm and the Pit of Malice zoning them out. Kyrex going in deep, getting broken now. Could take a lot of damage here. Pops his Blade Mail and a 4-second stun, but his allies are here. A nice laser blinding up Chaos Knight, and Razor himself needs to be incredibly careful. Trying to get the drain, draining a ton of damage, 280 once again, and pulling reality onto Tinker. Tinker himself getting crit down, but a nice blinding light. They just can't stick on anybody. Now the stun coming out to NTPK, 4 seconds. Will they be able to actually get him? But Chaos Knight continues to get zoned out, and Razor doing his best, but just not enough damage. And the healing ward keeping them alive. The reality of pulling back Exshal, they might finally get something. Or Willie the Whip, but he misses up high ground. They're still not gotten anybody yet. Despite so much investment, so much effort, they didn't grab any kills. And the Dire get away with effectively murder, forcing out those buybacks, and now that gold grab just like jumping off a cliff. 24k gold in favor of the Toxic Idiots. Roshan respawn too, so even larger of an advantage to be built up. What's worse, he has a refresher shard, so they could be facing down the barrel of 2 sets of mass serpent wards. They have the Axe Complete on the Elder Titan, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. They just couldn't stick. This Coddle doing so much work, and the blind as well, preventing significant amounts of damage in MKB. If it wasn't necessary before, it is necessary now. They need to be able to deal with those blinds, but more so, they need to find a way to stick to enemies. They just can't seem to do it up against that blinding light, up against the slows, up against all of the and I mean, I think the blind is probably one of the bigger issues and one that they could more easily manage. But perhaps they need to hunt down Mainu and kill him off. The Coddle Healing Blast, the Blinding Lights, it's just so much impact. And now a 30k gold lead here at the 52-minute mark. This game has gone on for a while, but I don't know if it has much longer left. A nice Elder Titan Stomp catches on 2, but the Shaman Ward's dropped onto the tower. Does he have the Refresher Shard? He does, sitting in his inventory. He could drop the second step, but looks like he wants to save it. MTP going in onto Razor. Razor getting low. They do have the Aegis on that Juggernaut, so they need to be cautious about that. The Earth Splitter catches Jugs. Chaos Knight popping his ultimate, trying to find whatever he can. D.Va doing a ton of damage. Bounty Slash flying out, buying time for that Juggernaut. It's chunking down these illusions, but it takes time, and now Razor himself shackled up down on the low ground. He's going to go down to Static Storm, trying to buy him some time, but there's no buyback on the Razor, and D.Va himself incredibly low. They get the Aegis, but there's still a lot of heroes left. Jabroon, no, the Hex saving it for now. The Laser finishing off the Chaos Knight. The Rocket chasing down this Disruptor. He's stunned, but he's going to live the Dagon Blast, killing off the Elder Titan. Now they're going up this Rax. You know what that looks like? It's going to be GG. The Firestorm coming in, but it's just for posterity. No dire heroes are dead yet. They have a second set of Serpent Wards dropped on the tier 4s. And they're turning their attention to the throne. It looks like this first game will be going the way of Toxic Idiots after a long 53-minute struggle. It was a close match with a very back and forth for the first 30 to 40 minutes, but eventually Toxic Idiots just gained control of this game. So congratulations, Toxic Idiots, taking game 1 of this best of 3. So we have at least one more game left, but M21 definitely have some gas in the tank, definitely got some stuff to work with, and we'll see if they're able to rebound and collect their thoughts going into the next game. I can't listen to Juggernaut screaming anymore. We'll be right back with the next set of games.
time to tear down the kingdom, call out the liars. Got a jail on my heart from the pessimist. Got those nails in my mouth for impressionists. Spent too much money on a therapist. It couldn't fix me, I accepted it. Gladiator, gladiator, gladiator. Picked a fight with the gods, I'm the giant slayer. Bone shaker, dominator. Freight train, wrecking ball, I'm the gladiator. Tell me what it is that you think you believe. Caught in a crossfire, trouble at sea. Every single day I feel that gold underneath. I see the locked doors, but I got the key. I'ma give you a second just to catch your breath. Cause I can see that your heart is jumping out your chest. I know you gave it all cause I've already seen your best. And it's time you accepted this. Gladiator, gladiator, gladiator. Picked a fight with the gods, I'm the giant slayer. Bone shaker, dominator. Freight train, wrecking ball, I'm the gladiator. I've got every reason to fight. I've got every reason to fight. Have you ever shaken hands with the devil in the night? Let me tell you, I've got every reason to fight. Gladiator, gladiator, gladiator. Picked a fight with the gods, I'm the giant slayer.
Welcome to game number 2 of Metaphor versus Toxic Idiots in the Learn Dota 2 League. Last game we saw Toxic Idiots take it, although it was very close for a while, and it was
seconds
certainly
remaining.
not an easy game, but we see Metaphor banning out one of the larger problems they dealt with
5
that last game,
seconds remaining.
the Bristleback. However, in my opinion, or I believe, Keeper of the Light was the
Radiant
larger
team
issue.
pick.
Those blinds were incredibly difficult, and Crystal Maiden picked up by Metaphor. She has not popped up yet, thank goodness for those names, and that I've learned to recognize the sound bites. But we'll see if TI are able to use this Keeper as well as they did last game. It was really impressive.
10
Those
seconds
blinding lights were
remaining.
just game-ending. M4 going to pick up that Brewmaster, though. A fairly popular off-lane hero, but in theory could run mid, although he doesn't match up that well against the currently popular mids, TI. We'll see what they want to go for next. Disruptor Band... Sand King
10
still
seconds
available.
remaining.
Gyrocopter was ignored last game, which was sort of surprising to me.
5 seconds remaining.
I don't know that either team plays Earth Spirit, but that is another very popular hero at the moment that I would at least expect to see maybe once in this best of 3. But Tusk also still available, something that they could definitely run with. An
Radiant
aggro
team
support to the Coddle's basic stuff, but they're going to grab the Beastmaster, who was banned last game in the first phase. So another pretty popular offlane hero. Both teams looking like they've got some strong
Dire
offlaners
team
that have
banned.
very high impact in early team fights. But TI have some pushing power and some nasty single target crowd control that M4 may struggle to deal with. I don't know how well Crystal Maiden's going to be able to zone out the Beastmaster. The Boar is probably going to be a real pain for her unless she frostbites it, and I don't think
10
she
seconds
wants to
remaining.
frostbite just the Boar.
Radiant team ban.
But they ended up banning out that Spirit Breaker, and then M4 banning out the Tinker that caused them so much grief that last game. I think where the game really spun around was De Bruyne on the Tinker just threw down a
10
bunch of
seconds
March of the
remaining.
Machines outside the Roche pit, and when M4 went to contest it, they got slaughtered. That was an
seconds remaining.
ultra kill for the Tinker all outside the pit, so no surprise to see him banned there.
Team
Let's
banned.
see if M4 a little bit more
Radiant
cautious.
team
Night
pick.
Stalker, then Kunkka, the final bans of the second set of bans. But M4 with the first phase pick, looking for another support, and there are two remaining cores, so we'll see what they want to go with. I would like to see something like the Tusk, not just because the lore with Tusk and Crystal Maiden being friends, but I think they need
10
some more
seconds
control.
remaining.
It's got good AoE, can engage, it helps them stick to heroes.
5 seconds remaining.
Good ganking support. Crystal Maiden a decent ganker, but I think with the help of like a Tusk, it's much better. They could also go for something like the Rubik as well, just a good utility hero. Gets better the better spells your enemy team has. The lift is nice. Fade Bolt helps clear out waves, something that they're really going to need to deal with. Elder Titan was
Dire
banned, of
team
course,
pick.
as that was an excellent pick for them. But speaking of clearing waves, the Earthshaker. Lots of crowd control now coming out from M4, but Toxic Idiots last game didn't have a whole lot of CC themselves, but still managed to just out-brawl M4. But a lot of that had to do with that Tinker setting up for some real success with the blinds,
10 seconds
the
remaining.
AoE damage from the March.
5 seconds
But
remaining.
now, Earthshaker, there's some crazy potential there with those Echo Slams, those dunks. I don't know what this is, but it's happened to me before, but it should be fine in-game. In-game, it shouldn't cause any problems, probably. Witch Doctor also still available for another support for Toxic
Radiant
Idiots.
team
And
pick.
they do decide instead to go back for that Shadow Shaman. They used it last game, and you know what? Why fix what isn't broken? Those wards allow them to pressure objectives and towers, and we saw an awesome ward trap from, I believe it was Ekshal who played it, likely going to be playing it again, Minu. I don't know how he wants me to pronounce it. I should have
10
asked.
seconds
Played
remaining.
Keeper last game, so I imagine it'll be an encore performance for him. Juggernaut also still in the
5
pool, and they may
seconds
just go for
remaining.
that as well. It's pretty decent against Brewmaster. So we'll see. I think M4 really shaking up their draft because they kind of needed to, I feel like. Their draft last game was good, but they just, I guess, didn't have the damage is what I'm... That last fight in their base, they couldn't kill anyone. So they already have a lot more damage. The CM ult, the Shaker, Brewmaster does very respectable damage. Some of them go for that Radiance as well to amplify that. But M4, I really want to see
team pick.
Gyrocopter, but
Juggernaut.
they went for the Juggernaut themselves, stealing TI's pick. Now TI gonna have to shake things up, but for them, you know what? I'm just gonna keep vouching for Gyrocopter. That is arguably the most... one of just the most... I mean, he is
10
probably one of the
seconds
most played heroes in the
remaining.
competitive scene at the moment. He's just so strong.
5
He's
seconds
probably one of the
remaining.
strongest heroes. Again, arguably one of, if not the strongest hero in Dota right now. He was picked or banned in 100% of games in the last major. And that doesn't happen just because. So it's interesting to see him being ignored, but perhaps neither team really plays it. I think it would go great for Toxic Idiots as an early game, great early game. You can group up with it early. It scales pretty well going late.
Radiant team
And lots of kill potential with that Gyrocopter, or with the Shadow Shaman. Similar to the Jug Spin, right?
Yeah,
Shaman
team
shackles, then you stand next to them with the Rocket Barrage and they die. Just like the Jug Spin. So I think that's probably... was the best carry left in the pool for them. Also good against Brewmaster. When he splits, you can just flat cannon TI with the 9th pick, banning out that Outworld Devourer, looking for a mid of their own. I suppose I like the look of Dragon Knight a lot for them. Just goes well if you want to push. Good single target stun.
10 seconds remaining.
Good sustained damage, which they have a lot of really good sustained damage at the moment. No
5
real
seconds
burst. If
remaining.
they wanted to go burst, I suppose they could probably go something like the Puck, whose bursting provides some control, but then they might be worried about lacking in damage. Templar Assassin also still available. They don't have a ton of great stuff to get through that refraction besides the Jug Spin. CMO also okay for it, I suppose.
Radiant team
But
pick.
TI, grab Pugna. Interesting pickup, but really good, pretty good against Juggernaut. Save your team and teammates or yourself from the Omni Slash. Good damage. Great at pushing towers. The Nether Ward, I think, also going to be a very respectable spell in this game. Earthshaker and Crystal Maiden have massive mana
10
costs, so
seconds
can just
remaining.
zap themselves at times. Especially Crystal Maiden with that ult. Gonna do like
5
400
seconds
damage to
remaining.
herself when she hits the R key if she's not cautious. I like that pick here a lot. It is punishable, though, and not the strongest of laners. I think M4 should go with something like a Death Prophet, which would, I think, just massacre the Pugna in the lane. Yeah, he's got the burst with the Nether Blast, but at the same time, if you try to save yourself or ever cast your Banish on yourself, Decrepify, you're going to get slaughtered by the Death Prophet. They could also go for... again, Puck might not be bad for them, but then they might, again, lack damage. I just like Puck as a hero for the control he offers, decent laner, but usually we see it in the off lane instead of the mid, so no surprise to kind of see it relegated to elsewhere. Storm Spirit also in the pool, but I don't know if you want to play it against a Beastmaster and a Shaman, but they're going to grab a Sniper for themselves instead, so that's a lot of sustained damage, decent anti-push. Yeah, this is an interesting bug. Anyways, yeah, decent anti-push, thanks to the Shrapnel. Can take out Shadow Shaman wards pretty easily. Likely to go a Maelstrom at some point. It's a fine pick. But I think I'm going to have to lean with just barely TI's draft this game. Last game I said it was M4, so who knows, we're probably going to go to a game 3 because I favored TI. But I just think they've got a lot more going for them in team fights. They've got a little bit better pickoff potential. I like their cores a lot more, I think. I like the Beastmaster, the Gyro, and the Pugna more than I like the Brew, Sniper, Jug. I think the Jug is okay. And Jug actually probably one of the better picks against Gyro. I mean, Gyro doesn't have any counters. Let's be honest with ourselves. But I think it's pretty... I mean, we'll see. It's pretty close, but I think I just like what the Dire have more... Like, if they win one fight, they massacre a bunch of objectives. They can get Roche way faster. They can kill towers insanely fast. So we'll see. I just think that they've got a lot more room for error because all they'll need is 1 or 2 good fights to take everything from M4. Speaking of M4, we're taking a peek at this Crystal Blade played by Samurai Bennett. On the other side of the map in the mid lane, Lava playing that Sniper. Then Diva D on the Earthshaker. Brewmaster played by Element. And last but definitely not least, Luke Whippoorwillow playing a different role this game, playing the Juggernaut. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, we've got De Bruyne on the Pugna. Not quite as flashy as a Tinker unless you count the strobe light of another ward he's got. Mainu playing the Keeper of the Light in an encore performance, a bit of a rerun if you will. NTPK playing the incredibly popular and incredibly effective Gyrocopter with Kyrix on the Bestmaster, the Beastmaster. Then finally, Akshal repeating his performance on the Shadow Shaman. Oh, looks like they are going to try to zone this guy away. Both teams getting their respective bounty runes, so nothing crazy happening at the start of this game. Last game we did see a first blood at a bounty rune, but no such repeat this time. Mid, it's gonna be better for Pugna until Sniper gets some levels. Once he either gets some points in the Shrapnel or... because that's what's gonna be annoying. The Sniper, once his range doesn't start out that long, Pugna's base damage better than his by a lot. So we'll see. I think eventually it'll be fine for him, but before he gets some levels, it might be difficult. Meanwhile, in this bot lane, Keeper of the Light gonna help out that Beastmaster. He started those wild axes, throwing him forward. Those axes really, really hurt too. Up top, though, things are going to be pretty rough for Element here. He does have his blind, but the magic damage from Gyrocopter really doesn't care about all of that. Like, Jug, or Brew, I should say, he's got a Jug. Brew, I should say, very strong against people who rely on their right clicks to harass you, to zone you down. But in this lane, that's not really what it is. He's going to have to be worried about being engaged on by magic damage. And they've got that in abundance. Oh, looks like the Fissure coming in, but not going to block out. It was very, very wide, but did force rotation from Ekshal, opening up a bit of space for that Brewmaster. And even though I think it's fine for the Gyro up in this lane, in a 1v1, Brewmaster still beats him. he needs help for sure. Brewmaster just trades so effectively. High damage, the crit, of course. All very frustrating. Earthshaker, not sure what you're planning on over there, but be cautious, my friend. The bot lane, Luke, farming pretty well. It's not a horrible lane for him, and Beastmaster, I guess, cut down all those trees. Not sure if that's really what he wanted to do. Is Coddle not going to be able to hide and get those Illuminates out? The mid going fine for Lava. He is getting harassed a bit, but so is De Bruyne. Both of these guys a little bit low. And with 2 points in the shrapnel, De Bruyne could just find himself dead. Decrepify won't save him against it. But up top, they're going after this Juggernaut. They weren't able to get in range, or sorry, the Brewmaster. They weren't able to get in range for the Rocket Barrage. Scrub with that Chakra. Might be encouraged to throw down some axes. Does exactly that. Wants to harass Samurai some more. He's only level 2 though, so needs to be a little bit careful. Just made no mana pool so low. Pings out at top. They might want to go for something X-Shawl. Homing Missile going on to D.Va. I don't think they can get this Shadow Shaman. And Gyro not in position to help out on the Shaker. Lava having a fine time in mid. Out CSing De Bruyne very badly. Healed up now. And just turning into a bit of a slaughter. De Bruyne pops the Decrepify on himself. The Shrapnel comes down, they're slowing up, and he's taking bonus damage from it. And he's just going to continue pursuit. And first blood for Lava. A solo kill in the mid from the Sniper onto the Pugna. Not a good sign. Pugna really, I think, wants to get really ahead in his lane. He doesn't gank as well as a Sniper. He ganks fine. Oh, a nice Fissure coming out. They have spin going on Minu, but he's very fast. Has his brown boots, and Luke does not. So will get away. That's going to make this lane even harder, as now Lava a level ahead of De Bruyne. And that level 6, that Assassinate, going to make things just harder and harder. Still a ways for that to happen, though. Ooh, nice Decrepify. Get some harass out. Brewmaster, level 4. Beastmaster, level 3. So Brew getting a little bit more level-wise. Does manage to snag that bounty as well away from that Shadow Shaman. So we'll end up seeing the Crystal Maiden pretty low. I haven't seen her go into the jungle to get levels yet, but she is level 30, so she's doing just fine. I would like to see her leave lane, not even for her sake, but so that the Jug can get ahead in levels. I don't think he's at any real risk of dying in this lane, just because he can spin out of everything that they throw at him. Unless Beastmaster had Roar, which of course he doesn't.
Juggernaut!
Speaking of spinning, Jug going forward, does manage to dodge and illuminate. Wild Axes are available, throws it forward. They do connect onto Luke. He takes a fair amount of damage from those, and it's going to be okay. Does have a healing ward, so can recover rather nicely. Minu going to try to contest this pull, and I think they're going to be able to do that pretty well. Healing ward out, and Minu probably going to at least soak XP. Maiden still really low, has no regen. I would like to see her just back so she doesn't just die to something. Eliminate Blast going forward. He wants to try to get whatever farm he can. Pulls the creep wave back around to him. Wow, the Axis harass is just real down here. Helmet though, level 5. That Bruce split at level 6. A lot of potential there, but Gyro also getting plenty of levels. And of course the call down, an equally ferocious spell in the early game. Second mid, they're going after Pugna. Assassinate, dead. Just popped his head right off with the help of that Earthshaker. D.Va D. Nice rotation, finding that kill. And the Shadow Shaman TP's towards the mid, but it's really not, it's too late.
This'll come in handy.
Ooh, spinning. Just to get farm, it seems. Brew finding his level 6 just now, but Gyro closing in on it as well. However, a gank with the Primal Split could be very, very devastating. They'll want to do it before Gyro hits 6, as the call down slow could easily stop a gank from being successful. Pulling the wave in, but it also pulls the Dire wave, has that negative consequence there. The Axe is flying out, trying to get himself some farm. The Brew split committed, going on to the Shadow Shaman, and he's not even going to get the bounty rune. Next Shawl, he's done for. Caught in that fissure, and just one more right click from the Brew. I think the Fire Panda got that one, killing him off. Kyrix level 4, so a huge difference in the levels of the offlaner. And M4 just at this stage of the game, this game, in the second match of the best of 3 series, they're doing really well. I think all their lanes are going the way they need them to. Juggernaut top of the farm. Sniper second on farm, has gotten 2 kills on his opposing mid. The Brewmaster level 6 to the Beastmaster's level 5, and Beastmaster just hit level 5. Oh, Fissure, if that had caught him on the other side, that could have been a kill, but fortunately for NTPK, he's going to be just fine. Gets forced to the other side, the safe side, you could say, of that Fissure. Brew continued farming up with that clap. Courier delivering his phase boots to him, so wants to really stick to enemy heroes with that slow and beat on him with that flail thing, whatever it is Brewmaster has. It's like a stick with a thing at the end of it. Don't know. That's like a lot of things. Ping's coming out onto D. They know that he's going towards the mid lane, and Pugna perhaps wants to get some sort of retribution. Trying to get that regen, or invis, but denies it and pops a regen. Nicely done. Slow onto Mainu. Jug is 6, so they need to be careful for that Omni Slash, especially Mainu, who I'm pretty sure just dies to it. Assassinate, flying forward just to harass from Lava. Yeah, the Jug ult just kills Mainu. He's got 2 armor. 0 channel Illuminate, caught in that Frostbite now. Juggernaut not pursuing though. Crystal Maiden throwing out right clicks. I don't think it's enough. Jug concerned more with keeping the lane in his favor. Has Omni Slash Blizzard on the Beastmaster, getting him low. He has spin available as well. And it looks like he's going to get Kyrix the bigger kill. Shaker down here as well. I think they see Mainu too underneath this ward, catching him. Crystal Nova, and he's dead. Nice fissure from D and an excellent ward, giving them vision for that kill, and they find both of those kills. And the lane's just getting better and better for the Radiant. M4 playing really, really well. Decrepify and the Life Drain coming out. He needs to get away from this. This could be bad. He could go down here. One more Nether Blast, not going to do it. He's trying to get that Ether Shock, not quite in range. The Primal Split immediately coming out. The Homie Missile actually going to go across the map, but it looks like the Shadow Shaman overextending himself and will likely go down here. But these creeps doing some work, and Xshell desperately trying to find Lava. Just can't do it. And Assassinate going forward onto the Pugna. Pugna taking a lot of damage from that. They get the Tornado onto him as well. The Tornado, the Boulder is there, but it doesn't look like they have the follow-up quite yet. They have a Fissure, but it's not going to time properly, nor do they have mana for the Brew Clap, so it looks like he will be fine, but things going from bad to worse, and 6-0 and a 2k gold lead here at 9 minutes, just about 10. And 4. They got it all together, but the Jug getting harassed very badly. Got the Void Stone before the Ring of Health. I think I'd prefer to the Ring of Health. You have a Crystal Maiden on your team. You probably don't need to worry too much about mana. But the health regen is really significant. It helps you so much in the laning stage. And that's why we see a lot of high base health regen offlaners be successful at times, like the Bat, or not the Bat Rider. The Nyx Assassin, who has Tango blood, you know? He just regens so much. It can be really hard to trade with him. But at the net worth, we have all 3 of M4's cores at the top. But only a 1k gold lead, so it's still very even in this game. And they're definitely by no means out of it, and they have so much kill potential and tower killing potential with their team. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see the game flip very, very quickly. We had a similar story last game. It was just so close the whole time in one fight, and the game was completely flipped on its head. Whose tranquils are that? That must be Crystal Maiden's tranquils. Nice efficiency. Drop the tranquils. I don't know if you need to drop tranquils when you have full HP, but yeah, drop the tranquils. Xshell throwing down a ward, level 3 on the Shadow Shaman. Has grabbing that bounty rune as well. Element ult, cooling down a couple seconds, 20 seconds I should say. He's getting caught, taking a lot of damage. The cooldown committed, but not going to connect. The Homing Missile meanwhile chasing him down. The Xshell not in position to follow up. However, at the bottom, it looks like a fight breaking out. They do get the Beastmaster. They have a TP coming in from the Shadow Shaman, but he's just not in position to get Luke. Luke able to just walk the saw, pops the healing ward as well, but it looks like it's going to die. Mainu trying to find it, should get it. And now Luke needs to be cautious, but he does have his teammates right there with him to protect him.
May, thanks.
A salve popped just to be safe. Enchant Totem, Frostbite coming out. It looks like Exshal in serious trouble will go down, and it's a killing spree for this Jug. Illuminate Blast not going to connect onto any heroes, and man, M4 just completely turning it around, making very few mistakes in this laning stage, and the mistakes that they do make just aren't being effectively punished by TI. Split now available on the Juggernaut as well, so, or sorry, I don't know why I keep saying that, the Brewmaster as well. But Kyrix with that roar going to be roaming around. However, Earthshaker also in the mid lane. They may want to make a play onto the sniper, but at the bot, Coddle throwing out that blast, and Beastmaster getting closer and closer to mid, but I don't know if Pugna's going to be able to follow up. He's pretty low, and Element actually finding a solo kill at top with his ult on that gyrocopter, but it looks like they're rotating behind. They get the Nether Blast, they get the roar off as well. The Drain doing so much damage, but a nice Fissure to try to zone them away, and he's just going to try to walk it off. Will he be able to, though? The Wild Axe is on cooldown for just a few more seconds, and that might be enough. He pops his Mask of Madness, but the physical damage from the Wild Axes, the minus armor, might actually kill him. The Nether Blast coming out. Oh no! That Decrepify, but they do manage to get him with that Nether Blast, but the Decrepify cancels all that damage the Wild Axes would have done, and now M4 Diva on the run himself. A nice Fissure coming out. They may have overextended. The Creep's actually going to kill off De Bruyne, or will they? The Crystal Nova, the Freezing Field coming out, and De Bruyne just barely able to walk away. The Crystal Nova not going to be enough. But they finally get their first kill, and it is a big one. The spin and the phase boots. Oh, Mainu. Luckily, the Shadow Shaman TP enough to discourage Luke from pursuing any further than that, but that Keeper of the Light really has no counterplay to getting spun on by that Juggernaut besides to maybe desperately try to TP home. Unless he gets like a Force Staff, which I think he will eventually, but he's going for that Ags first. It's just such a huge item on Keeper. Demon Edge though, on the way to the Juggernaut. Has Omni Slash, the Juggernaut with the Demon Edge, or yeah, it did just get dropped off. With the Demon Edge hitting a lot harder now and very close to his Battle Fury. A very respectable timing on that B Fury as well. But mid left alone, going to go down to that Nether Ward. Trying to get that deny, but Lava will be unable to find it. Now caught in that Decrepify. Gets the Shrapnel, pops the Assassinate, trying to cancel it, but man, there's so many heroes here. They pop the Roar, the Shackles, they stack those stuns, but doesn't matter because he's done. They do get that Sniper. That's their second kill, and it is, again, a very important kill to continue to kill that Sniper. Speaking of things that are of the utmost importance, the Bleak Dagger on the Brewmaster was completed a little bit ago, and that is an incredibly high impact item. And those Coddle Illuminate Blasts starting to hurt very, very badly. The Jug still so high on the net worth, 1.1k ahead of the next closest enemy, the Pugna, who just picked up an Aether Lens, allowing him to use that life drain much more often, as well as poke with Nether Blast from relative safety of towers. Oh, Samurai, you are gonna die. I don't think trying to TP out might just make it home. And meanwhile, Jug getting a spin off onto one. Exshal trying to get that, but oh, trades! The Aether Shock finishing him off, and definitely worth it for Exshal. Getting that killing spree ended. Fair amount of gold. We didn't get the full recap. Oh, yes, we did. Yeah, Jug got the XP, but Shadow Shaman got the gold, and I think that's what he's more concerned about. Wants to finally maybe finish his arcane boots. However, now at the bot lane, they're sending people in. That Nether Ward going to be able to serve as a detector if someone TPs in and tries to do anything or engage with any abilities like Hero Shaker casting out a Fissure. And with the Nether Blast, this killing this tower, a relatively simple matter. Top of the pop to split, the Echo Slam as well. Gyro in serious trouble, the Aether Shock coming out. Diva getting very, very low, immediately canceling that Shackle B is going to go down to the flat cannon damage. But it looks like the Brew trying to do what he can to get this jar, but just can't do it. He's able to get away, and I believe he may go down here. There's, oh, a nice Tornado, though, could keep him safe for the time being, but he immediately blinks away. The Earth Panda very slow, and that is the Panda he always spawns from along, it's alive. I believe it's Earth Panda, Fire Panda, Wind Panda. Or maybe it's Earth, Wind, Fire, because that seems like a reference to something. They committed the Shaman Wards up here at top. And M1, or M4 I should say. That Ripe is coming out. Exshal getting really, really low, and he's going to go down. Element finding that kill with the clap, and now the Frostbite coming out onto the Pugna, and Minette doing what he can, but just gets slaughtered. Took so much damage from that Nether Ward as well. They trade a support for a support, but also lose that tier 1, and are now going to farm up the Shadow Shaman wards. Meanwhile, Juggernaut able to continue to farm in their own jungle, but just look at this net worth graph. It's starting to pull back down. In fact, barely 1k in favor of M4 now. Which means this draft starting to come back online. Toxic Idiots. This Pugna doing a ton of damage. Gyrocopter catching up in farm, getting himself ahead of the enemy sniper, as well as ahead of that Brewmaster, but still a ways to go once it catches up to Jugs, who is a large portion of his team's damage. With that Battle Fury, he's only going to get more and more threatening. Oh, they've got a smoke going on Kyrex, but they don't have vision of that Jug, and he doesn't have Call of the Wild yet, so not able to use that scout, that Hawk to scout, which is a really big thing. Oh, but they spotted Lava. He has a roar, and Lava's low. Gets the roar off the Wild Axes, and this should just be able to kill with the right clicks. Yep. Cops his Mask of Madness to try to get that speed, but it's not enough. It's too late. That Invis rune for Kyrex. That's like 3 consecutive deaths on the sniper. So the sniper, who was doing so well in his lane, struggling badly now. He's died 3 times without... I think he got that assist on the Shadow Shaman, but has just been getting more or less just completely shut down. Shaman trying to get stacks, but getting rooted by the most annoying camp in the game. Does stack the Ancient, but unable to stack this medium camp here. Now with Dire Smoke looking for an enemy hero in the jungle, but it looks like most of the Radiant heroes, most of the M4 heroes are sitting at the bot. But Toxic Idiots, again, no Call of the Wild, and they haven't used their scan yet. They might find Luke, though. They don't have vision on this, though, and Luke will see them first. He needs to be careful. They don't have a roar either. He pops the Omni Slash immediately, doing a lot of damage, but it's not going to be enough to kill anybody. He already has a spin down as well. The healing ward, just not enough. He's taking way too much damage from this Gyrocopter. However, it looks like Minu going to go down in a beautiful fissure. The Wild Axe is coming forward, but it doesn't matter. Sniper's here. This call down not going to do anything because he's spinning, and it's a double kill for Lava. They go in deep to try to find a kill, but instead give away 3. Beautiful fissure from Diva D as well. That was excellent. The split committed for practically nothing. They CX Shawl, but again, Brew spawns at the Earth Panda, very far away. Going for an Echo Saber, rather peculiar. Typically, you'll see Brews go the auras, because auras do continue to be applied during the Brew split through the Earth Panda. So things like Radiance, Shiva's Guard, Vladimir's Offering for your teammates, are all rather typical, but looks like he's going to do things a little bit differently. Wants to get that right-click damage in, and Brew with the built-in crit, a respectable right-clicker. So I don't oppose this. However, despite the fact that the Radiant are very far ahead, M4 very far ahead in the kills, they are incredibly far behind on towers, and a lot of that has to do with how much wave clear is on this other side of the map. They've got Coddle Blast, they've got Nether Blast, not a blast, they've got Gyrocopters, Flat Cannon, so it's really hard to get a wave under the tower to actually get the push going. Shaw once again trying to stack. It does give him gold. I don't think he can get that camp stacked, but he just might. Nope, but he does get that medium camp stacked. Crystal Maiden could be in trouble. Maybe should have just tried to TP up, but now the mana leak has ended. Jug with his Yasha completed. Element with that Echo Saber, a lot of damage coming out from these heroes, but a lot of that damage can be mitigated by a well-timed Decrepify from the Pugna. Pops the Veil immediately, the spin coming out. He does have Omni Slash, but you don't want to cast Omni Slash on Pugna. And you can no longer just build Diffusal to try to counter that because it does not purge. And oh, Sniper, he's invis. He sees these tears. Oh, what a bad timing. They put that ward down right there. Are they going to be able to get damage? They do get the Shackles, but it's immediately canceled. Lava on the run with the Mask of Madness with the damage. Just so much magic. They get the call down. Unnecessary. A little bit of overkill, but you know what they say. There ain't no kill like overkill. Now they've committed this Brewmaster ult at the bot lane as well to try to zone away this Pugna as best that they can, and he will lose the Fire Panda, but his ult was ending anyway. Pops down the Nether Ward just for good measure. Popping the spin, and this tier 1 will go down, but could it be denied? Nope, Luke does manage to get that last hit. Good effort from the Pugna. And Sniper, talk about bad timing. They just happened to place that sentry right there at that exact moment that he was walking up that hill with Invis. And again, he's just having a real rough time, this Sniper. Oh, but a quick and easy one on Kyrex. They did commit the Echo for him, though. So a lot of commitment to kill off that
Radiant's
Beastmaster,
middle
but
tower
still
is
a
under
3k gold lead in
attack.
favor of M4.
Radiant has
M4 also
reinforced
sitting at a
their
2k
structures.
XP lead. The 3-second Thunderclap slow picked up over the magic resistance. There's a lot of magic damage on this other side, though. I think I would have liked to see him get to magic resist, especially against the Gyro this early in the game. It's excellent against the Pugnet as well. Actually, let's take a look at these sniper talents. He did go the 20 damage. Cooldown reduction is it's okay. On sniper, I don't think it's really that great. I mean, Assassinate's already short cooldown. You don't need to get it out more. In late game, your DPS is largely from your right clicks. He's going for that Maelstrom as his next item.
I'll take that as
Shaker's
tribute.
Blink, I'm pretty sure he
Dire's
had
middle
it.
tower
I'm pretty
is
sure I
under
saw it
fire.
when he killed the Beastmaster. Saint Yasha now completed on the Gyrocopter as well. And Luke, closing in on his Manta style, has the ultimate orb, and honestly, it's complete. Getting the split off, going after this guy. They might have seen the Pugnet TP in, and if they don't, they do now. Has to get him stunned immediately with that boulder. He has the Crepify, but he's going to take a lot of magic damage anyway. Pops it onto himself, but he's burning slowly, and they can manage to kill Shawl in the meanwhile. Do they see De Bruyne? They get the Assassinate going. They want to get him to get the Roar off onto the Earthshaker. Oh, he decrept himself! Not the time to do that! Taking bonus magic damage from the Assassinate, which already hits pretty dang hard.
Is under attack.
And gets his head popped right off. They don't catch Mainu in that shrapnel, but he TPs to safety anyway. Has that Ag completed as well on that Coddle. It's had it for a little while. Looks like I missed that pickup.
Dire's top tower is not on top of things.
These 2-2 getting slowly poked. I don't think they can really siege this. They push very, like, it's not horrible push, but it's also not very quick. Luke can get his Manta delivered to him at any time. After Manta, going to be going for a Diffusal Blade and then a Blink Dagger. So I really like that build. After that, you can go with Scotty, you can go an Abyssal Blade, whatever you feel is necessary. I like Scotty a lot. BKB could be really good this game as well. Great against Mainu, great against so many of their heroes. They get the Veil off at the Shrapnel slow, keeping them zoned out. Kyrix does not have Roar for one more second, so he can get it off on Lava. Lava pops Smash Magnus, who gets caught in that Primal Roar, and he's going to go down incredibly quick. The Life Drain finishing him off. Actually, it's a right click. A nice to Crepify, a good Hex as well. They want to try to get revenge on X-Shaw. Luke has his ultimate, killing off one. Now it's on another, doing a lot of damage. And Echo Slam as well, on top of a beautiful heal from the Keeper of the Light, keeping them alive for the time being, but it's not going to be enough. De Bruyne going to go down into that spin. Ooh, but the Decrepify trying to get that drain, but doesn't have it as a triple kill for Luke. And now Keeper of the Light caught in that Frostbite as well. The clap onto Mainu. Mainu slowed up, trying to do whatever he can. The Blinding Light, but it doesn't matter. Element killing him. 4 heroes dead. And Gyro farming on the other side of the map, and they just trade away that sniper, granting a total about a 1,500 gold exchange in favor of M4. On top of that, XP also going to spike for them up to about 6k. Crystal Maiden picking up her very important GPM talent, allowing her to pick up a lot more items. Juggernaut went for the attack speed, better than the Blade Fury spin, I think. Although this game, there is definitely a case to make for the Blade Flurry spin. Fury.
Dire's top tower is not on
Bot called uncommitted, but he already popped that Primal Split, trying to get onto this Gyro as fast as he can. Has control, can lock him in place if he needs to. Throws that out. The Assassinate also flying forward, has a mini stun. They might want to tornado him so they can keep him pinned down. He's very, very fast though. Pops Mask of Madness, and they just can't keep him. I think they should have tornadoed. That tornado lasts a very long time and would have kept him in place. He'll be fine. They've got the Life Drain heal, and they've got the Coddle Illuminate heal. They also have an Urn, but no charges on it just yet. Oh, Decrepify onto this Brewmaster. He's trying to just run it off. He has a Blink Dagger, going to stun himself with that Mana Leak, but he's fairly far away now. They see where he is. He's continuing on the run. Decrepify coming out. Nice Blending Lap, pushing him back into that Nether Blast. He's turning around the other way. Glimmered. I don't know if they want to keep this chase going. Decrepify coming out onto the Crystal Maiden. The Nether Blast will connect onto her. The Mana Drain doing so much damage. The Life Drain, I should say. Ooh, but she's still just barely alive. D throws out a Fissure, trying to zone out enemy heroes as best as he can. Looks like no one will die. Very, very close, but close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. NTPK, very well farmed, second on the net worth, but 3K behind that Juggernaut. Homing rocket going on to the Crystal Maiden, pops a freezing field, gets stunned inside of it, and yeah, she's a goner. Call down, they've got a rocket barrage, and she's dead. But the Slate Fury coming out now. He needs to be careful. He does not have Omni Slasher. Yes, he does. He does pop it during that Decrepit Fire, so he's buying himself some time. Meanwhile, Shaw going to go down in the back line. His teammates are on the way. Luke is here now doing a lot of damage. NTPK already going to go down. Minu trying to do what he can, but not going to catch himself in his own heal. The Fish are going to kill him off. Now De Bruyne able to TP to safety, but they've lost 3 heroes. And now a 9K gold lead in favor of M4, doing very, very well in this game. And XP, equally as impressive, probably about 8.5, maybe 9K there as well. And it just feels like TI aren't able to find a foothold in their drafts. And the execution from M4 also is pretty good this game. Getting nice rotations. Luke is very tanky, very hard to kill. Has his defusal after just like maybe 2-3 minutes ago finishing his Manta, it feels like, but a blink on the Pugna will help get some of that initiation. The Beastmaster just feels so far behind. I mean, he's level 15, but it just feels like he's been not doing everything that he needs to. And now Luke will be closing in onto his Blink Dagger.
This'll come in handy.
Lava going for a Hurricane Pike, giving himself some better positioning tools, also some mobility. He's been struggling getting caught by some of the enemy CC, and a Hurricane Pike would really fix that issue.
My cup runneth over.
They're picking up a haste. Not going to do anything with it though. Really nothing to do with it. Exhal trying to find some enemy wards, but it doesn't look like there's really any over here. However, they do see this Pugna. But they've got bigger fish to fry. Roshan looks sort of fish-like, I guess. More like a bat, I suppose. But they turn their attention to him. They kill it very, very quickly. Healing ward committed now. And that's an Aegis on the Juggernaut. Of course, that completed on Lava. And I don't know that they can kill this Jug twice. He's already so hard to bring down once. He has 22 armor, 1700 HP, and a lot of their damage is magical. So during his spin, he can ignore a huge amount of their damage. His smoke did break, so he knows somebody's nearby. He sees this Keeper of the Light, but turns his attention to the tower instead. But the backdoor protection will keep it away. The Blinding Light pushing him off that tower. And Lava clearing up the way of trying to push in. The Illuminate Blast coming forward will clear up that one creep that they have. The backdoor protection gone. So is that tower.
Middle tower is lost.
Hurricane Pike on the way for Luke. Lava already picking that up. Careful. He's just going to right up high ground, but might lose his Aegis already incredibly quickly. His Zion's already gone. Possible Primal Split. The Shaman Wards are down, but NTP already going down. The Life Drain trying to keep him healthy as long as they possibly can. Luke looking for an Omni Slash, gets it off. Onto 1, 2, 3 heroes taking a lot of damage, but the Tornado actually countering a lot of it, and there's a lot of creeps around as well. Popping that spin, but man, these Radiant heroes are getting very, very low, and that Assassinate actually killing himself on it, the Sniper, and they went up high ground at a really greedy time, and that nice healing coming out from the Pugna, keeping his teammates alive, and tornadoing a Necro Creep was interesting. Perhaps tried to click on somebody else, got it off. But a really incredible high ground defense coming out from them, although I think perhaps just underestimating their strength. M4 going up high ground thinking that it would be an easy affair, but it was anything but. They've lost 2 cores and that Aegis and likely to lose this tier 2 tower. The pushing power of this dire draft is very, very high. So they're definitely going to lose this tier 2 at the least. I don't think they lose a tier 3, but definitely not how they were hoping that high ground siege would go. They'll need some picks. I mean, so hard to go up against Tall Down. The Nether Ward killed Sniper. The mana cost of that spell, 375. The ratio, it does 1.75%, so almost like 600 something damage. Yeah, that hurts, that Nether Ward. Coming forward, nice Echo Slam, catching a lot onto the Gyrocopter. They do have that heal available from that Pugna. He does launch it forward, but it's not going to be enough this time. Meanwhile, Kyrok's getting incredibly low. They throw out the War onto the Brewmaster. The Brewmaster very, very tanky. The Pugna doing whatever he can, but it's double kill already for Lava, and they turn it to the Minu. Minu's going to go down, and Luke just finds him. 4 heroes massacred in the blink of an eye, it felt like. And now it's Toxic Idiot's turn to overestimate themselves. They just thought they could maybe get away with that, get that push going, but they immediately got punished with some TPs to the shrines. They had a ward there too. But a beautiful Echo Slam from Diva D, who's just played phenomenally well on this Earth Shaker. Getting the obvious pickup in the talent, the Primal Health unit, the Primal Split unit health. And now they're going to be sieging up high ground this time. Should be a very simple affair. You don't have a Gyro for 20 seconds, a Beastmaster for 20 seconds as well. It's just a Pugna. Fortification popped, but Pugna's not even here to defend. Realizes if he goes back, it's possible he dies.
Dire's middle tower.
And it looks like the first lane of racks will be claimed by M4, and they may also turn around and go for these shrines. A bit of free gold, if you will. The gold graph continuing to go in favor of M4. XP also very much in their favor. Shrine, free gold, basically. I don't know if they'll go for the top one since it's, you know, other side of the map, but free gold. And now 4K on top of that Juggernaut. 2K for the sniper, going to be going for a Scotty. Radiance did eventually get picked up by that Brewmaster, and ooh, they get the Mana Leak on a Crystal Maiden. I don't think she saw that ward. She would need to Crystal Nova the high ground. Still stuns herself on the Mana Leak. Shrapnel just to be safe, team player. Very considerate of Lava. The 17k gold lead is very difficult to come back from, but crazier things have happened. All they would need is to, their teamfight control fairly limited, but if they can lock down that Jug and blow him up before the fight really begins, and then collapse onto Lava, they could do it. I mean, a Beastmaster Roar, they have the damage, I think, to kill off the Jug with the Life Drain, Ether Shock, Roar, Earth. That's a lot of, everything Gyro does, of course. It's a lot of damage. Their right clicks aren't particularly potent, and that's the big problem, I think, for them. But there is potential there. If they get that combo off, if they can lock down that Jug and then unload on him with all that magic damage, they may be able to win a team fight. Like we saw last time, while Jugs was dead, they really struggled, but I think Jugs himself, Luke himself, aware of that possibility, that weakness, picking up a BKB to make things even more difficult for Toxic Idiots, who are, again, just struggling to find themselves in this game. 18k behind. XP, about 13k behind. Bruin refilling his bottle. His Ag's completed now. 0 CD life drain. And a bit more drain per second. What is that? Increases drain per second, but what does it increase it to? Oh, yeah, never mind. The tooltip just isn't changed because it only removes the cooldown, so they buffed the drain. Okay. But the 0 cooldown life drain not only has offensive but good defense potential as well. He sees Lava. He could get this kill pretty quickly. The Hurricane Pike might be able to get him away though. Oh, but he just used it. Oh no! But Brewmaster is in the neighborhood. He needs to be cautious. He sees enemy heroes into Bruin. He's hungry for it, but not so hungry that he would risk dying for it. He just dies if he goes for that, honestly. Brewmaster, Crystal Maiden all nearby, and 4 Radiant heroes, M4 heroes grouped up in the mid. Do they have a smoke? Nope, but Shaker has a Lotus Orb. Going to make things really hard for that Pugna. Primal Split committed down here at the bot lane. They're trying to get these spirits, but god damn, they are tanky thanks to that talent. And yeah, Brew just buying time for his team to engage. The Shrapnel flying forward, going to separate some of the team from each other. And now Juggernaut getting his Omni Slash up on the back line on several of those heroes, but he bounces back to a creep, denying him that. But they do get that the Beastmaster already, but now Juggernaut getting extremely low. Pops the spin, but he goes down. NTP gets him off. Nexshall on the run, has the Lotus Orb. He doesn't have a blink and will get caught by that Crystal Nova. Meanwhile, Lava on the pursuit, trying to find Pugna, and should be able to find it with that Assassinate. Gets him. NTPK pops his BKB, but is still alive, forcing the Pugna buyback. They did get that Jug though, so we know that Jug is killable, and because they got that Jug and because Gyro survived, it wasn't that bad of a fight for them if you just look at gold. However, because there are no buybacks and their heroes aren't up to defend tier 3 towers, it could be much more costly than it appears. Lava popping the Mask of Madness, getting hit by that Veil, wants to be a little bit careful. I don't know if they get racks. They're chipping away at the ranged barracks, and they should be able to get it. Crepify to stop the auto attacks. Lotus Orb purging it off, though. They've got enemy heroes all up in 10 seconds, so this could be the time for them to back off. It is 4v5. They don't want to risk throwing away the advantage they've accumulated.
This'll come in
As
handy.
Gyrocopter is tied with the sniper in terms of net worth. He's looking for a Satanic, trying to keep himself alive as long as he possibly can in those skirmishes. He does the most damage on his team and is the only real damage they have against Juggernaut while he's spinning. Crystal Maiden going for an Agadem's of her own. I don't know. I feel like Blink would probably have been better for her. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of supports just rushing an Ags. It's fine, and I get the appeal, but it's not typical, you know? Typically, they go for those utility items, maybe a Spirit Vessel, which no one has, maybe a Solar Crest, or Lotus Orb. Typical, like a Crystal Maiden, I would expect to build like this. Even a BKB on Crystal Maiden, I find better than the Ags. Why upgrade your ult when it's going to be so hard to actually use it? Is, I suppose, the general thought process. Roshan respawning in about a minute now. That's going to be a hot spot to contend for both teams. Lava pushing, going for an Eye of Scotty, still a little ways away. Roshan not up. The Beastmaster units inside the pit will likely see it. Actually, I don't think they will. They will die. So both teams going to miss Roche by just a little bit. But it looks like Dire TI are smoked up looking for something. However, Sniper has just left this lane. But if they wrap around, they might find him in the river, or they'll find that Brewmaster. But Lava walking up the high ground. But no, they go back towards their own side of the map, too. A little bit nervous about going to the Radiant side of the map, the M4 side of the map. Which makes sense. It's not too easy for them. Sniper getting hexed up. They really want to get this guy. His team is in the neighborhood, though, and I think they know it because they immediately back off. Roshan respawning in 15 seconds. Another ward. We'll let them know if anyone's inside that pit. They leave the Juggernaut illusions there. But now Beastmaster with the Call of the Wild going to have that Hawk. So both teams will be aware of Roshan respawning, except the Hawk is about to die. However, they do see Roche is up. So both teams getting ready to fight here. Smoke from M4. They're wrapping around. Shaker. His smoke is broken. He sees Kyrix. Kyrix could be in serious trouble. Now they get the Fissure off. He's rooted. He pops the Necro 3, but it's not going to be enough. He gets shredded already. Juggernaut. Immediate Omni Slash to the background onto 1-2. Here's De Bruyne. Mino actually taking him. Most of it, he's going to go down. De Bruyne causing the trying to help the Lava getting fairly low. Taking a lot of damage from this Shaman. Wards pops his BKB, and Shaman himself getting low. But Flat Cannon, I mean, just Gyro's still alive for so long. They do eventually get Sniper, and he's actually going to get Diva. Diva not able to get him with the Fissure because of that BKB. It's a double kill for the Gyro, but Pugna also still alive. The life drain doing so much damage to the Crystal Maiden as well. Brew Spirits locking down Gyrocopter. Gyrocopter going to be in trouble once he lands on the ground. Brew gets the clap off. He doesn't have any magic resist. The life drain trying to keep him healthy for the time being, but now they turn their attention on Pugna, who gets nothing out of that life drain because of that BKB, and now NTP in serious trouble. Going to get chunked, and it's 5 heroes dead. Looks like it could have been okay for the Dire, but GG's just called that last fight. They did everything they could, but it just was not enough. Well played by M4, forcing it to a game number 3.
Radiant victory.
So we'll be right back with that third game, hopefully very, very soon. Excited to see a match go to three games, you know, very exciting. And whoever makes it, whoever wins this next game continues on in this tournament, but the loser, I believe, is eliminated. So we'll be right back with that third game. If you guys have any feedback for my Kaz, please let me know. Post it in the chat or just send me a direct message on Discord or something like that. But we'll be right back with that third game. I hope you guys are enjoying it.
Set her eyes, set her mouth, set her throat, well, it's so sweet. Gonna get sick if I close my eyes and I lie down.
get sick if I close my eyes and hide.